So a lot of followers here on YouTube and on X because I said I do not want perversion in video games.
But didn't you defend Stellar Blade though? See, it's the hypocrisy of this situation, man. Gamester won another W. Now everybody that has followed her now have finally turned their back on her. And now she has a problem with it. It is what it is, man. Like, I go as far to agree with you, but at the same time, I understand that video games and everything that we consume throughout our media and entertainment is satanic, which also means that I can't sit there and chastise other people for those reasons. You know, as long as I understand that these things that we all enjoy are wrong, then I'm perfectly fine with that. But I mean, it's so funny that you want to speak on this now, but when Stellar Blade and all these other countless examples, because we can sit there and go as far to say the uglification of women, but there's a lot of women that do look like that, and you're essentially using your beauty, which I personally don't think that you are, to essentially chastise women that do look like that. And a few examples. Some girls do have more of a masculine appeal. That doesn't take any more of a woman than they are. But you would go as far to say that they're ugly, essentially be judging people based off things that they have no control over.
And that includes that of the straight variety, right? Now, I've learned that the anti-woke, there are different factions in the anti-woke crowd.
But let's just be honest, man. A lot of these so-called quote-unquote quartering and all these dudes that you guys want to sit there and say that they're alpha males, a lot of them are playing with toys, bro. It's so funny how you guys oh, he's an alpha male. You know, people like Wes Watson. I'm not saying any of them. They're all insecure individuals. But all I'm saying is that you got these people, bald-headed, middle-aged, neck-bearded men, all playing with toys. No different than children. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, at this point, bro, aren't you the same dude that defended Hill Babyface when he was out here yelling and screaming on camera over pronouns? I mean, you was out here condoning this behavior. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these dudes that you see on YouTube, they're not real conservatives. I've talked to real conservatives, and they don't even agree with a lot of these content creators. It seems like you guys are just liberals that want to have these mindsets of conservatives, but you know you can't be a real one because you do stuff like this. You're hypocritical.
I am a Christian. Everything I do, everything I say...
Oh, really? Is that why you have tattoos? You know, as a Christian person, you're not supposed to have tattoos. It's stated in the Bible that your body is essentially your home and your temple. Now, I'm not saying there's anything you could do about that, but it's also in the scripture where you're not supposed to have tattoos of any form of fashion, and yet you have them. Now, have you ever thought of the fact that, okay, you know, I read the Bible now, I'm a Christian person, you know, I regret what I've done to... No, you haven't. Therefore shows you that you're still not in the name of the Lord, bro. You're just using the Bible as a crutch to condemn everybody else while you still continue to live your life in sin.
Everything in my life is centered around Christ.
No, it's not, bro. You're a hypocrite. You're a liar. This is why people are calling you out for this. Oh, I don't like this. This perversion, while you out here defending the perversion of Stellar Blade and all these other countless games that you've done on your channel, man. I think it's gotten to the point where she just couldn't do it anymore because the spirituality and God and the Bible is conflicting with that. So she felt the need to speak on it because of how you live in your life. You're living your life through lies and deception, and now you're like, you know what? I'm having a spiritual awakening. I can't do this anymore. You know, that's what happens when you finally get through the Bible. You start realizing things, but unfortunately, it's a little too late for all that.
So I didn't make this channel 3 years ago to put my neck out there to get blacklisted from the video game industry so I can't even do mainstream work like I used to do.
Uh-oh. She crashing out, y'all. She crashing out.
I didn't put myself in that position.
Uh-oh.
To call out the perversion with the queer ideology and this, that, and the other that has been infecting everything. I didn't put myself in that position just so I could turn around and push perversion just because it's straight. Not gonna happen.
Well, there goes all those fake conservatives. I bet they're not even going to be your friends anymore. You see how life is, man? When you have a difference of an opinion or if you have a different mindset, now the same people that was on your side are going to be the same people hating you. This is why you're supposed to surround yourself with genuine people. Because the day, like for example, me and Porter Rock, we could probably be the best friends as long as I go talk about PS5 and chastise Xbox, because this is another trend that I've seen in this community, guys, is that you got a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying names, but you do have a lot of people that used to be Xbox fanboys. They buy a PlayStation. Now they got a successful channel. Look at MBG, for example. Then you have PS5 owners that buy an Xbox, and all of a sudden their channels are blowing up. Now, I don't know if this is by coincidence. You know, only the person can speak merits of what he's doing, but I've noticed this. So it shows you that whenever you choose a side, people are more willing to follow what you're doing. It's ridiculous. That's why I tell people I do what I want.
If you want some sort of context, I can give you a little bit. I'm not going to show the actual video because I do have a lot of Christians who follow me who probably wouldn't appreciate having something like that.
I mean, aren't you the same person that wished for a church to burn down? Like I said, man, I understand that it says in the Bible about, the rainbow community and all these other aspects, but at the same time, that's for them to have to learn and understand for themselves. That's their journey with God. That's not something that you can sit there and tell people that, oh, I'm gonna sit there and change. And on top of it, it's the way you go about it, which I think is what makes it worse in these situations. You honestly give Christians a bad name. There's a lot of people that carry themselves with the Christian faith in mind, and yet they love everybody, but at the same time, they do condemn the actions of what people do, and they can say the same for themselves. Once you start seeing that, then that's when you can get closer to God. You cannot get closer to God chastising everybody else while you continue to live your life in sin. Trust me, I can guarantee that.
Thrown on the screen, but a lot of you already know what I'm referring to. Okay. Now, this is a game called The First Descendant. Didn't play it. Didn't really comment on the game itself.
Of course you didn't play it, because you're not even a gamer in the first place. What are we doing here, people? All the things that I've said prior about this woman, now you guys are starting to see it for yourself. Gamester, what another W. I'm always winning in this community.
Commented on the material that was presented in question.
And now you out here crashing out on a video about, the perversion in the game. I mean, wait till she see Dead or Alive. Let's just be honest, man. I'm not sitting there saying I disagree with her, but I can't sit there and say that because I do play violent video games, which is also against the name of the Lord. This is why people, when they sat there and told you stop pushing politics, religion into gaming, this is what they're referring to. Because they're essentially saying if you want to do this, you can nitpick every single situation. That's what I'm trying to say, which means that none of us will have music, entertainment. Nobody would really have anything if we want to live our life with the Lord in mind. Come on, man.
And the material that was presented in question of the tweet that blew up and got me so much backlash and hate and saying I was betraying everybody was a video of a character dancing and shaking her butt in a thong with the camera focused on it. Again, I'm not going to post it just but the intent of that, the whole question
but let's be honest. You play Tomb Raider, you're out here destroying enemies. I mean, God wouldn't want you to do that. Like, let's just be honest, man. This is why I went as far to tell you that you guys want to sit there and talk about this community, like I said, which we all can have disagreements about, but at the same time, no matter what we're doing in regards to video, even if you're playing Mario jumping on Goombas, you're killing enemies. God don't want that. So regardless if it's a rated E or rated M for mature game, everything that you're consuming through media, entertainment, music, whatever have you, is satanic. It is what it is, bro. It's the work of the devil. So there you go. Ain't none of you people waking up every morning going to church. Stop lying to yourself. Woman, you claim to be a Christian woman and you have not regretted any of the tattoos that you have on your body. I'm not saying you can change that. I'm not saying you can do anything. We all must make mistakes. I make mistakes too. But when you sit there and say you live your day by day by the Lord, then you should have already came to the realization that what you're doing was sinful, but you chose not to. You didn't care. That's the difference. That's the difference between a person that has a true sense of spirituality and a person that wants to take the Bible and rewrite it for everyone else but themselves.
Right? Because here's the thing. There is a side of the anti-woke that are like me and are like, hey, I don't want perversion in our media.
Well, some people might not want violence. Oh, let's ban every single violent video game. You know, some people might say that this violence is terrible for children. How could they have people like this play it? I mean, look at Fortnite. You're picking up weapons and getting everybody. Well, I guess we gotta stop playing Fortnite, guys, because it is true. A lot of kids are playing that game, and the first thing that they're seeing is weapons and firearms. Therefore, which means that we should ban the game. Now you're starting to understand my argument? So when you sit there and you talk about how these games are pushing all this lustful and sinful behavior, well, the same thing can also apply to the games that you play. Aren't you a fan of Gears of War? Come on, man, I'm done.
You don't want this to see through our mainstream media?
Your YouTube career is over.
When they ask the question, is this what gamers want? No, I don't want that. Just like I don't want the queer stuff and I don't want the gay stuff.
Well, then don't play it. I mean, for a person that says they're not that, is the same person that keeps talking about it every day. It's just so funny. It's like, if you don't want these things, then why are you going out of your way? I mean, it's gotten to the point where Hill's Babyface is watching these so-called quote unquote LGBT movies or videos on Netflix or whatever, and doing reviews on them. What are you people doing? You sit there and say, oh, I don't want this, I don't like this type of stuff, but you're consuming it every single day. Talking about it with your audience. While you out there consuming the same exact things, bro. Ain't nobody want to hear this from you, girl.
Right? I'm not forcefully taking this stuff out of existence, but
God gave you free will to do what you want. You're not God, okay? God gave you good. Well, that's what he gave you, and you can choose to do evil if you want to. That's the God. That's why God gives you free will, because that is his definition of love. God is not a dictator. God is not going to force you to love him. If you don't love him based off your actions and what you do, well, you already know what's going to happen to you. It is what it is, bro. At the end of the day, I'm not sitting here saying it in a way to chastise you, because like I said, it's taught in the Bible to love everybody, but you don't have to love the actions or the behavior that people are doing. There's a difference. But go ahead.
I am shaming it, just like I do the gay stuff, because it poisons society.
Well, violent video, you hear this, guys? Rap music, violent video games, violent movies is poisoning the world. Wow. So who would have known? I thought you was a conservative. I didn't think you was a liberal. And I told you about these guys that play with these toys like Hill's Babyface and stuff. They're a bunch of fake conservatives. They're just liberals that can't be real conservative, so they took the conservative approach and made it their own. That's why they out here playing with little toys. Come on, man.
I do the same thing with this. Now, again, people are like, oh, well, what about... I'm like, I didn't say... my only experience with this game that I have seen has been people posting cleavage shots, butt shots, and camel toe shots. And the question was...
So you have more of a problem with the community. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really follow this game because I don't care. But I'm saying that's the community posting it. Is that the developers themselves posting this?
And there's another side of the game, or anti-woke side, that says... that have been against the queer stuff with us, with me, and why perhaps they think we're on the same team is probably because we agreed on this. So they were loud and proud speaking against the queer stuff, but it's like, oh, wait a minute. You weren't against the queer stuff for any sort of moral reason. You were against the queer stuff because you weren't attracted to it. But you still want something equally as perverted, but just something that you are...
Well, that's all lust. Like I said, that is not love, that is lust. We understand this.
Attracted to. But it's like, hold up, I don't relate to you.
Well, I'm honestly, like I said, I'm in agreement with you, but there's a lot of wrongs that you've done on your channel, girl. I'm sorry to say it, bro. You know what I mean? When I used to do a few videos and I would explain this, and I don't know if she even watched them, but at the same time, these are things we've all, have expressed. I mean, even people probably in your comment section, it's the hypocrisy. Like I said, I'm on board with you. I agree. I'm not even saying it, but it's also the same thing can also apply to the things that you've done, which was Stellar Blade. You feel me? It's the same thing. It's the hypocrisy. You gave people an approach about who you really think you're about, and you wasn't honest with yourself. And I think that's why people are calling you out.
That's not me either. And let's just talk about what is one of my arguments against the queer and the gay stuff that they keep adding to these games. These games keep tanking. They lack substance because these games keep tanking. They lack substance because these perverts, these queer perverts, want to insert their...
You could be a straight pervert too. You know what I mean? It doesn't... like I said, it's all lustful stuff. If we're talking about that, a person could be straight and still be a pervert.
Ideology into the game instead of actually making a good game. So guess what? They crashed. Well, you know what? Same thing happened here. Here you have a game where... So you have that same demand from these Gooners to create this more validation than the shame that they feel for being pornography brained. Now you have...
Well, the same thing could be said about Dead or Alive. Don't show her that franchise, guys. I wonder what she's gonna think about that when they realize that game has, a lot of fan service. Essentially even their own audience is paying for it.
You have certain people who know that it's wrong, and they're trying to do better. And hey, God bless you. Read the Bible. Seek Jesus.
Did you read the Bible when you decided to put all those tattoos on your body? Did you read the Bible then?
Only He can help you. And I say this to the queer side as well. And I have the same stance on queers as I do these Gooners. Is that, hey, yes, what you're doing is shameful. Yes, I think this stuff is shameful and I don't want it in my entertainment.
Well, hold on. First off, it is not your entertainment. Entertainment is for everybody. That's entitlement. Why would you even word it like that?
It's shameful and it's hurting society. It's disgusting and it's perverted.
Oh my God, it's hurting society, guys. Just like rap music, just like video games, movies. It's hurting our society, apparently.
No, I don't want it.
Okay.
Do I think that people participating in these
Melonie Mac, go woke.
activities are losers? Yes. But you know what? It doesn't mean you have to always be a loser. Have I ever been a loser? Have I participated in activities that made me a loser? Yes. But I have sought Jesus Christ.
Are you sure? Are you serious? I still don't believe it.
And I walk with Jesus Christ.
No, you do not walk with Jesus Christ.
It is walking with Jesus Christ that gives me the strength to avoid and to overcome temptations that if I were to...
Really? So why did you have the temptations to put tattoos even though you know it's against the Lord?
I'm just saying, make me a loser. Okay?
I just...
So that's... More so, you're not going to see as much... It's going to be portrayed in a little different way when it's meant to appeal to women, but it's still equally as perverted and equally as disgusting because it's trying to elicit the same reactions.
Well, the same thing could be said about video games. The violence. All this stuff is sin. What do you don't understand? You can't sit there and tell people, well, this sin is not as bad as that sin. It's still sin. That's what you don't understand. This is why I have a problem with some of these fake Christians, is that they want to sit there and say, well, what I do is sin, but your sin is worse than... It's all sin. There's a reason why you guys are all on this damn earth with each other, because it's something that you did that God put you down here. And now you have to suffer with the consequences, but you can still make the changes that you need to get right with God, but you people choose to do nothing. All you want to do is sit there and condemn everybody else while you live your own life in sin. What have you done as a person to better yourself for you to want to get the plank out of your brother's eye? Just do y'all really read the Bible? Like y'all claim? Before you get the plank out of your eye, out of somebody else's eye, you got to get the plank out of your own eye first.
So you have these suitors, and they try to, as the female player.
Oh my, I can't.
They're trying to seduce you and win you over, and
this is what entertainment is all about. It is what it is, bro. Now, if you have a problem with entertainment, throw Laura Croft, throw it all in the trash. Go put that should be a statue of Jesus right there. Why you got a statue of Laura Croft? That is a false prophet. You want to get technical? Because we can get technical. All that stuff you have in the background is false prophet. Put a Jesus statue instead. Rewrite and rechange your whole life if this is what you want to do. Go ahead. Let's see.
Are cognizant of everybody's time. But I'm just saying, let the record be straight now. And you can unfollow me if you want.
Oh, well, that's what most people are going to do. And like I said before, you guys, I'm going to break this down for the people in the back, right? Everything that you consume in life is all designed by God's creation. Video games is designed by God's creation because God created you. He created the plan. He created these things. And video games give you that sense of godly feeling, right? It's a creation. That's where the whole, video game concept comes from. Same thing with your laws. Same thing with the laws that you live here. Now, it's not designed fully with the way of how he would do it, but it's all designed in a structure. You got his angels, you got the judicial, you got the police officers. It's all designed in God's creation. Everything you consume in life is all designed. Now, in regards to the rainbow community, no, that's due to free will. Because you have people say, it's so funny, right? And this is something I've noticed, right? People blame God for everything, but they never say they blame Satan, even though Satan is the reason as to why you go through these things in the first place. It's so funny. Everybody's like, oh, why God? Well, poor God, why would he do? But nobody says Satan. It just seems like you guys want God to accept your sin, and he just won't. And I think that's the reason why humans say that. You guys want God to accept them, no different how Satan wanted to be accepted by God, which he tried to overthrow God, and that did not work. It's the same thing. You guys are living your life in sin, and I'm going to advise y'all to change.
I don't care. I didn't make this channel just to pander to people. I made this channel because I was already burned by a lot of the corruption. I've already seen a lot of the corruption in the gaming industry.
I mean, and the corruption's in every facet of life, and that's good. I'm happy that you was able to see and witness these things, but maybe you should have advocated your channel in that manner, but instead you wanted to promote your channel as a conservative, right-wing person. And like I said, God did not create none of that. Okay, you guys are all fighting on different teams, but you're fighting for the same side because at the end of the day, nothing's going to change. You are wasting your life.
I've seen a lot of the perversion and some of the perversion that I defended.
Woo! So, congratulations, Melonie Mac. I'm happy that you admitted that.
Well, I'm not here acting like I'm better than everybody.
There you go.
I'm here from a place now of knowing, okay.
In the name of the Lord.
I can't support this.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear. I didn't want to hear 20 minutes of you blabbering. I wanted to hear this.
Because Jesus Christ changed my life. And he can change your life too. I don't care if you had 1,000 screenshots of these games that you were jerking it to.
Whoa,
or
what the?
If you lived a gay lifestyle or whatever it is, you can be saved through Jesus Christ. You don't have to be a slave to this. So let that be known.
That is the most respectable thing she has said throughout this whole video.
So yeah, I shame the activity, but I'm not saying that everybody who's participating in it will be doomed to be a loser forever. They don't have to be.
Well, it's kind of designed like that. I'm not saying it's designed by God, but the problem is people's temptation takes over, and this is what they do. So essentially, they are doomed. You guys make it seem like everybody makes it that. It's not that simple, bro. I'm telling you, I spiritually feel that it's not that easy, bro. You got to do a lot of things in your life, and I mean personal things. You could help the world and still go to you know what. I'm telling you, because you have to find the problems within yourself. It's not about how many people you save. You could be helping people just so you can have good karma. You have to physically feel that what you're doing is good. That's what you have to understand. I could be a millionaire giving all this money to people to give myself some good clout and reputation. Hey, look at me. I'm gangster. I help the world, people. Look at me. I got a camera crew helping out these poor people. You're still going to you know what. because you're not genuinely doing it from the kindness of your heart. You're not doing it because you want to do it. Not doing it because you actually want to see these kids eat and all these other aspects in people's lives. You're doing it satanically. That's what I'm trying to say. But like I said, man, Melonie, go woke.
So it was important to me to make that a bunch of things that, from my perspective, that require editing and more focus and than just turning on a camera and, just talking for 10 minutes or, in this case, almost 30. So I don't know. And if that's the case, then it'll be less uploads. I'm not going to be able to upload 5 days.
Like I said, and you still got a lot of work to do. But I do respect the fact that you even realized it yourself that what you was doing was wrong. That's where it takes a real powerful person to admit that. Now, in regards to people not liking you based off what you said, that is something they got to work on. That's something that they're living throughout their own sinful life. Because for somebody to get mad about from a person that has a difference of opinion is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's not even really an opinion. It's actually fact. So, but at the same time, you can't just keep chastising them and not looking at yourself and say, hey, I got to better myself.